Everyone, welcome back to Chicago Election. I'm your host, Wasim Sahwell, and today I'm with co-host Jessica. Today we'll be
Hello.
looking at Lori Lightfoot, a mayoral candidate who is under some stress right now. So, Jessica, do you have any thoughts on Lori Lightwood before we start this?
At the moment, I believe that she is going to try to end gun violence.
Okay. Well, let's read this article and see what happens. So, if any of you are new and you don't know what's happening, we are creating these podcasts to review each and every single one of the mayoral candidates because with some research we found that some kids, if not all of them around our age, don't really know about a lot about politics or the mayoral election. So we're kind of reviewing each mayoral candidate to help you get a clear understanding and helping you find out who you should vote.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and most teachers at Taft High School, if not all of them, don't know very much about each candidate.
Okay. So, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so let's go down this article and see where we're at. Okay, so first off, I'm just going to read a couple sentences, a couple paragraphs, and then we'll just break it down and see what happens. Okay, so this article says, as gun violence in Chicago reached a fever pitch this summer, and national politicians were quick to lambast city leaders over the increase of crime, Lori Lightwood, a candidate for mayor there, is jumping to the city's defense. Even the most crime-plagued, most economically distressed neighborhood, there are a lot of people of goodwill there. There are good things that are happening, Lightfoot said on the latest episode of the Woman Rule podcast, part of its Tracking the Candidates series. But what we need is a leader who sees that, recognizes the opportunities, and builds those good things that are happening up to scale and sheds a spotlight on them. Come to Chicago and see, actually, the texture and greatness of our city, she added. Lightfoot's remarks come just as President Donald Trump blamed the city's bad, in quotations, governance for recent fatalities. So, Jessica, after reading this, what are your thoughts on this? What is your opinion?
My opinion, with our own president blaming us for the violence, I don't agree with it. But with Lori Lightfoot's opinion and ideas, I completely agree with it. We need somebody who will stand up for us.
Okay. I also would have to agree with you. I don't understand. I kind of understand where President Trump is coming from, blaming the governance of the city for the recent fatalities, but I also can see how it could be out of their control. So I'm going to be neutral on this one. So do you think that Lightfoot is just defending just jumping to the city's defense just for promotion, or not promotion? Let me rephrase that. Just for people to think that, or no, wait, not promote. Okay, let me rephrase that as well. Do you think Lori Lightfoot is just using the gun violence fever pitch as a way to increase her popularity by saying that, there's a lot of good people here, and it's that we need as a leader who sees that, recognizes opportunities, and build those good things that are happening up to scale and sheds a spotlight on them. Do you think that Lightfoot is just using this terrible tragedy of gun violence just to promote herself as a good mayor?
You do have a good point, but on my opinion, since I don't know her that well or know what she's going for other than gun violence, I'm kind of leaning towards she might be using this to be able to gain publicity, but that's just my opinion since I do not know her very much.
Okay. So let's go down and let's keep reading. So, after one violent weekend that saw 12 killed in Chicago and dozens more wounded, Trump mused that, I guess you have to take it from the leadership. It's called bad leadership, the president said last week in Bedminster, New Jersey, where he was hosting a meeting to discuss prison reform. While Trump did not single out anyone by name, Mayor Rahm Emanuel responded directly. Bob Mueller's investigation and Paul Manafort's criminal trial must be getting to the president, says the mayor's spokesman Adam Collins. But we're too busy working to continue reducing crimes with police, community leaders, ministers, and federal prosecutors to pay attention to his musings. Lightfoot, who challenged MUL in the city's next mayoral election, offered up her own criticisms for Chicago's current strategy of dealing with violence. This is a public health crisis, yet we are treating it as something very different, she said on the podcast. We're way too reactive, we're not proactive. So, Jessica, you have any thoughts on these last few paragraphs?
I completely disagree with the president's opinion of this, since we don't have much of manpower to deal with gun violence, and then reforming the system of police officers and sorry, this hits hard from home. But yes, I completely do disagree with the president's opinion of why this is happening. But Lori Lightfoot, I believe she's trying to do her best at the moment, but I may be wrong at the moment as well.
Okay. We'll see. I will agree with you that the president is wrongfully attempting to blame the leadership here, thinking that if because they're bad leaders that this is happening. I think it's just maybe some of it is beyond their control, but I could see where he's coming from as well, because if the leadership wasn't really focusing on whatever they're doing, I really don't know. They probably should have focused on getting more police and keeping the public safer. What do you think when Lightfoot said that this is a public health crisis, yet we're treating it as something very different?
Well, that's actually a really good question. A public health. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, please?
Oh, sure. So when Lightfoot said that this is a public health crisis, do you think that it's truly a public health crisis, or do you think it's something more, and she's just trying to stir up as much not controversy, I like to say discussion about all this, just to promote her own agenda?
I actually do think that this is also a health violation, but also a bigger problem in Illinois than Lori Lightfoot describes.
Okay. So let's keep on reading down. We're at the very end of the article, and reminder to all of you who are coming here the first time: after we finish reading the entire article, usually we would compare this article with another article about Lori Lightfoot to see if there's any similarities or differences. But sadly, we could not find any articles that were supporting Lightfoot. It's usually just all what she was doing or against her. So we just chose this neutral article to see if we can just base her upon with her actions instead of with just negativity. So so after this, we probably would just break down the specific article, and we have nothing to compare it to. So specifically, back to the article. Specifically, Lightfoot, a former president of the Chicago Police Board, says she believes that the policing tactic isn't engaging people, isn't doing enough to build trust and legitimacy amongst police officers in the communities that they serve. So, that's basically it. Jessica, what do you think Lightfoot means when she says it isn't that the police tactic isn't engaging people, isn't doing enough to build trust and legitimacy amongst police officers in the communities that they serve?
I believe that she means that we can't only focus on how corrupt our police system is, because of how gun violence is slowly killing people. The police system can be fixed slowly and properly into a better way, except if we don't deal with gun violence now, more people are going to lose their lives.
Okay, okay, I'll agree with you there. So, Jessica, um, how about you view, how what are your views on Lori Lightwood ever, like right after you finished reading this article, after reviewing this article? What do you think about Lori Lightfoot? Do you think she's going to be a good mayoral candidate? Do you think somebody else is a better mayoral candidate? Do you think she's using this gun violence crisis to further her own agenda? What do you think?
At the moment, I believe that she still has a lot to work on. You gain a lot of people's trust in how she can better Illinois. But at the moment, I think she's a good enough chance to end gun violence in Illinois. But what do you think of her?
In my opinion, um, obviously I must stay neutral to this due to me reporting this, but in my opinion, I just remain neutral honestly because I do not know enough about Lori Lightfoot to judge her that quick. But the way she's acting due to this kind of seems like she's just trying to raise her popularity, and
I agree with you there.
yeah.
At the moment, yes, I do not know much about her, so I agree with you at the moment.
But this is like the one thing that confuses me is that she keeps talking about how the people should come together and try to build things with their own hands, but like she really hasn't given any solutions to anything that anybody's asking, like how they're gonna stop the violence, how they're gonna stop, like how they're gonna make their leadership better so the president doesn't say it again. And yeah, and I don't even really get what the last like paragraph was saying about engaging people and isn't doing enough to build trust and legitimacy. Because I don't understand how trust and legitimacy should affect police officers doing their duties. So yeah.
You are indeed right.
Well, so since we don't have any other articles to compare this article of Lori Lightfoot to, do you have any last minute opinions or things you would like to point out from the article before we go?
At the moment, no, I do not.
Okay, well, thank you for being on the show, and everybody, this is Lori Lightfoot, the mayoral candidate. She's number 4 that we reviewed. The previous ones were Gary Chico, Bill Daley, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Joyce. No, no, wait. I'm sorry, I do not remember his last name. But Joyce. Lori Lightfoot is the 4th one. The next one we will be doing is Susanna Mendoza. Thank you everybody for checking the show. Thank you Jessica for being on the show.
Yes.
I hope everybody has a nice day. Thank you and goodbye.